Whenever I buy a pie, the base is crispy and delicious. But when I make them at home, it's way more miss than hit.
In search of solutions, I'm meeting food scientist Dr. Stuart Farrimond.
Hi, Dr. Stu.
Jerry, great to see you. How you doing?
I'm not that great, to be honest,
Okay.
because I have a really bad case of soggy bottom.
With your pie?
Yes, with my pie.
OK, thank goodness.
According to Dr. Stu, there are 5 scientific golden rules to help you swerve the sogginess. Rule number 1. Preheat the oven. For our fan oven, we're going for 180 degrees Celsius. But don't just wait for the light to go out.
Most people think that they're preheating their oven, but they're not really. They turn it on, and then as soon as the light goes out, they put their baking in.
But the light is there for a reason. The light tells me it's pie time.
It's not true. It means that the air temperature is at the temperature that you've set it at, but the oven itself, the walls are still cold. So leave it on at least 15 minutes so the metal walls are up to temperature. You need to get that pastry cooked quickly if you want it to be crispy.
Rule number 2. Maximise the heat below your pie dish.
Another tip for you for getting the temperature as high as possible is to use a pizza stone.
Why would you put a pizza stone in your oven if you're making a pie?
If we put in a pizza stone, or if you haven't got a pizza stone, just use a heavy metal oven tray, then you have heat coming from the bottom, which will help the bottom cook very quickly.
Rule number 3. Choose the right dish.
OK, that's your pie dish?
Yes.
It's not great for pies.
Why is it called a pie dish, then?
This is a ceramic-style pie dish. They take a long time to heat up, and we cook slowly. Some of the fats will melt and come out, and we'll get a soggy bottom.
If that isn't good for a pie, what is?
We want to go for metal, so something like this.
You are blowing my mind today. A metal pie dish. Why?
Because it will heat up quickly, and also you want a black dish, because if it's silver, it reflects some of that heat away. Another great pie dish is one that is made out of tempered glass, like this one. And this is great because if you've got your pizza stone or thick oven tray underneath, then the radiated heat will pass straight through and it will help bake the bottom of the pastry, and you won't have a soggy bottom.
Which pie dish are we going to use today?
The black metal pie dish.
Rule number 4. Roll the pastry to the correct thickness.
How thick do I want my pastry? Because I have to say, I guess every time.
Ideally, you want something between 3 and 5 millimetres.
I don't want to sound like I'm not committed, but I don't often have a ruler in the kitchen.
I've got a great little hack for you. 2 20p's
OK.
on top of each other
OK.
will give you an ideal depth for your pastry.
What a brilliant tip. Has my pastry passed the test?
Your pastry has passed the 2 20p test.
After lining my dish with pastry, this is when I'd usually bung my filling on top and stick it in the oven. Which brings us to rule number 5. Blind baking.
So what we're doing is that we're part cooking the pastry before we put the filling in. And the reason for that is that if we don't do it, there's a danger that the pastry won't be cooked by the time that the filling is done.
We pick the pastry with a fork and cover it with grease-proof paper weighed down with rice, which stops air pockets forming and the pastry bubbling up.
Preheated oven.
Great.
In we go.
Lovely.
Towards the top.
10 minutes near the top of the oven, followed by 3 to 4 minutes without the paper and rice, gives us a golden brown base.
Ah, look at OK, on the top. That's lovely.
Blind baking partly cooks the pastry, which stops the gooey pie filling seeping in.
Lift. Go, 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 go. Hey.
Amazing.
Yay, look at that.
In she goes.
30 minutes later, the moment of truth.
Smells good, it looks
Smells
good.
amazing.
But what we're really here to see is whether it has a soggy bottom.
Yep.
Wow!
Look at that.
My first ever pie that doesn't have a soggy bottom.
That's a good pie.
It is, isn't it?